All right, good morning, fifth grade. I am back to talk to you today about the assignment for distance learning, module 5, lesson 12. Today, your must-do problems are 1C and 1D. But before we get started, I want to remind you, if you have not yet watched the concept development video, to pause and head on over and check that out. It's super informative and it really helps to make these concepts more concrete for you. Okay, so for demonstration purposes today, we're going to walk through 1B. So as I said, 1C and 1D are what is required, but we're going to walk through 1B so I can show you how we would do that. In this assignment, it asks for students to measure to the nearest quarter of an inch. So I do want to let you know that I have expanded this to blow it up on the projector. So I have my measurements ready to go. But in order to do this, you will either need a ruler or a tape measure. Your parents might have one of those laying around. Also, if you are doing it digitally on a computer or on an iPad, make sure you check out those math digital tools because there's lots of things in there to help you to complete these tasks. So because I have those ready, I know that my length across is going to be, actually for 1B, is going to be the same. So this is a square, and I know on my image here at the projector, it looks a little bit more rectangular, but if you're looking at your paper, you can tell this is more of a square. And so both of these to the nearest quarter of an inch measured 1 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to use that area model in order to do this today. So when we're using an area model like this, we focus on a part, the whole part of the number, and then whatever the fraction or decimal number separately. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to go across, and I'm going to focus on first my length. So up here I have 1, and then I'm going to make this, so this is going to be my 1 inch, and then I'll make this my 3/4 of an inch. And so because this one is a square, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So this one's going to be 1 inch. This one is going to be 3/4 of an inch. So now our next step is to multiply. So parents, what we like to say is that there's like a little imaginary multiplication sign in there, and so they are kind of meeting across. So in this box right here, I'm going to take the 1 inch times 1 inch. So in this box, 1 inch times 1 inch is 1 inch squared. We're measuring for area. So now I have 1 inch, and I'm going to multiply that by 3/4 of an inch. So this brings us back to that identity property of multiplication. 1 times 3/4. So we're going to have 3/4 of an inch, but again, this is squared. Down here in the bottom, we're going to have a repeat because we have 1 inch times 3/4, so we will have 3/4 of an inch squared. Now in this one, we have to multiply 3/4 of an inch times 3/4 of an inch. And I want to remind fifth graders that when we are multiplying fractions, we just multiply straight across. So we're looking at 3 times 3, which gives us 9, and 4 times 4, which gives us 16. So 9/16 of an inch, and again, this one is squared. So our next step is to bring this down. I would bring it down and put my whole number first. So I would start with the 1, and then I would go through and add 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 9/16. My next step here is that I know when I'm adding fractions that I have to have that common denominator. So I have to know what is 3/4 equal to. I'm going to do that with a different color so it stands out to you. So we can say 3/4 is equal to how many 16ths? How many times can 4 go into 16? So 4 can go into 16 4 times. And so 4 times 3 is 12. So 12/16 is the equivalent fraction. So I'm going to rewrite this below as 1 plus 12/16 plus 12/16 plus 9/16. Now we have them all in that common denominator. We have it all ready to go. So again, here, now I'll leave my 1 by itself, and I'll add the 12 and the 12, which give me 24. And then I will add back in the 9. So 12 and 12 give me 24. When I add in 9, that gives me 33/16. I know that 16 can go into 33 twice. So I will take that. So when I take that away, 16 and 16 gives me 32. When I subtract 32, this is representative of 2 whole numbers. So I now have 3 whole and 1/16 inches squared, and this is my area. So for 1C and 1D that are required on your assignment, I want to encourage you to do the same thing. So for example, I'll give you the measurements we have for 1C are 2 inches, 2 3/4 inches by 2 inches. So in this one, you will not have a line across the bottom. They would just multiply, remember that little multiplication symbol that's there? They would multiply these 2 numbers, they would multiply these 2 numbers, and then they would find the total area by adding those together. I hope this helps. Have a great day.